It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Oh, you have to get into it.
I don't know if I'm supposed... Okay, I'm not used to sitting next to you.
I kind of like
So
it.
You know, it's easy.
I feel like we're
weird.
doing a news anchor thing.
But we're just talking about the Real Housewives of Miami.
That could be pretty serious.
Maybe not this episode, but it was a really good episode.
No, hold on. Because if you watch the episode, you have Alexia who's calling out Dr. Nicole and her husband. Her husband's getting a little bit cheeky. And then all of a sudden, Alexia's husband has to step in. So what do you mean?
I mean, listen, I really don't like to see husbands step in on wives' kind of drama or fights. But I don't know. After rewatching the episode this morning, I kind of am team Todd at this point because, well, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Okay. So guys, before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And I want to hear from you guys what you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Miami 1 to 10, 10 being, oh, the best it could be. Jason, what would you give it?
I mean, these ladies have left us with like every week a great episode, right? So I'm going to have to give it a solid, like a 7.5, right? Like it's nothing huge happened, but they keep us going. Like those middle drop episodes like we have on Below Deck or the entire season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You know, they keep us interested. The Miami women keep us going. I really like them.
You know what's so funny is every once in a while, like if I'm doing something, I'll listen to different podcasts, and sometimes I'll listen to Two Teas in a Pod or just random Housewives podcasts. And everyone has the same general consensus in the sense that they're all like, Real Housewives of Miami has come in as the #1 spot. Like everyone's raving about it. But I think what's funny about this is it's still not being recapped a whole lot. People are still not as used to it. And it's on Peacock. So it has a different style of audience and a different, you would think because it's on Peacock and it's streaming all over the world that it would get a lot more viewers. But I think people are sometimes reluctant to buy streaming services.
Yeah, no, and we hear that a lot. But, you know, what the reality of it is everything is moving to streaming services. But I think entire Bravo will move over to Peacock at one point. But yeah, it should have more viewership. It's good. It reminds me, Real Housewives of Miami has that cotton candy drama mixed with the real drama, mixed with these ladies who are opulent, elaborate, unique, fun. I mean, it's like Ladies of London in Miami. And that's the kind of show I like. You know, because Housewives of Salt Lake City, like just as a comparison, you know, to let's say a Housewives, you know, Miami has been around for a long time, but they're only on their 5th season. You know, Salt Lake City hasn't been around for a long time, but they've given us 3 seasons of nothing. So it's like, I like this style, this format that they're doing on Miami right now.
Yeah, and
that makes sense.
I like the editing too. I want to say this really quick, guys. We're about to, I'm about to fly out to go do some stuff in Los Angeles. And we caught the first full episode of Vanderpump Rules. When you guys see the editing and the production value of this, it's so different. And if you guys haven't seen the intro for the show, you can go to Bravo TV on Instagram and they put the intro up. But the way that they film the entire thing, it blows the hills out of the water. It blows any editing or production on Bravo right now.
It's very comparable to some of the good production we're seeing, like Miami. Maybe sometimes Beverly Hills. I even find it more dynamic than Beverly Hills, the way they're editing. But the intro to Vanderpump Rules is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's great.
Okay.
Great.
So
it's a flex for Lisa, for sure. Big Lisa flex.
Yes. Because I'm sure she edited all of it by herself. Okay. So we're going to get into this, and I want to start with a serious conversation because I want to ask what you guys think about this. We know that Julia Lemegova and her wife right now are going through an extremely hard time. Her wife, Martina, was diagnosed with breast and throat cancer, which all of us, I mean, Martina is such a sweetheart on the show. I'm sure she doesn't even like being on the show. I feel like she does it for her wife. And obviously she's a superstar, but we're sending her all of the healthy, positive vibes. And we see in this episode where Julia is sitting down with Adriana. I always call her Adriana. It's Adriana. Adriana.
I don't know.
She spells her name Audraiana. It's Adriana.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Does she not?
No. 100% she doesn't spell it like that.
You let me know.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's ADR.
Adriana Demore. Well, listen, she's a friend of.
You're too much Hills. You've been watching too much Hills.
That's Audrina.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
see how it is?
Okay.
See how it is?
But my point is there was a serious conversation about Julia wanting to adopt and the agencies really taking into consideration her age, her and Martina's age, right? And in this conversation that she's having with Adriana, she's talking about how some of these different adoption agencies have wait lists for their wait lists. But she said, I feel like some people wouldn't want to give us a baby because I'm pushing 50 and Martina's a little bit older than me. Adriana said that was ageism. But honestly, Jason and I were kind of passing that back and forth. And I kind of agree. And I hope this doesn't get me a lot of shit, but I actually agree with the fact that I think you should be within a certain age bracket to be able to adopt a newborn baby, only because, God forbid, you're, say, 60 years old and you adopt this baby. And then the baby, you have 18 years to raise the baby, send them off to school or a job or whatever, just get them the hell out of your house. Cause that's what I would do with my kid if they turned 18. You have 18 years. And then by that time, if you're 60, you're almost 80 years old. So God forbid something happens, health issues, you're not around. I can see why they would take that into consideration. I don't feel like that's necessarily ageism, but what do you think?
I mean, I think that's why they have those in place.
Yeah.
Those kind of, maybe restrictions or whatever, because they don't want a baby to go with someone who's, older. Yeah. But this is an opportunity. Julia and Martina both said they didn't necessarily want a newborn.
No, but they want a baby that's like 3-4 years old. It's not far off.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also think that Julia's already an amazing mother, and she really, it touched me when she was saying, I've never had a baby with a partner. I've always had babies by myself. And we know that she lost her son. And now I'm wondering, with all of Martina's health concerns, if they would even get granted a baby, right? Because wouldn't that be taken into consideration?
What?
With Martina suffering from cancer here.
Maybe. Maybe that changes the game even for them. Maybe it's not, we are not going to give you a baby because of health concerns. Maybe this isn't the right time to take on that extra responsibility with the health concerns that she's going through. So they might have changed their minds. They might change their minds.
Right. But if they don't change their minds and they want to wait and then until after, she gets healthy, because she will get healthy, right?
Regardless, the process for where they are at in their lives is a lot harder than, let's say, someone our age going in with a home ready to go, a perfect home, everything's set up. It's harder for them. It's harder for them. It's their age. It's health. It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Krista Marie said, you wouldn't catch me with a newborn. Elaine Hargate said, speaking from experience, it's very hard to start over when you're older.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can even imagine having a baby now, and I'm 24.
You're not 24.
Oh,
so there's that. There's that. But okay, so these moments, this is what makes Miami so great, is the moments that we have with Julia talking to the adoption agency, figuring out how to kind of navigate that whole journey, but also those funny moments that, let's say, Marisol and Alexia give us. Like right at the top of the episode, they go and see the fat doctor. And I don't know what it is that you get injected into your ass that makes your fat go away. I have no idea. This little tube of whatever, right? That gets put into her butt. I guess it's supposed to make the fat go away. But these kind of moments where you see them actually have fun and they're the genuine relationships, it just make the show. But I love right here when Marisol goes and she puts the needle in and Alexia is like, wait, that was it? She's like, Marisol, bro. They call each other bro, which is really fucking funny too. But she's like, you should be a doctor.
You should be a doctor. Yeah. Which is so funny because if you guys watch the episode, Marisol goes to this fat doctor, doesn't get anything done. He brings her out a cocktail with extra vodka, a little bit of watermelon juice, and says it's 72 calories. And it's like, do you just show up to the fat doctor to just go, you have like a drinking buddy? And then is his ass just getting drunk and then injecting people? And then is it also legal for the doctor to let you, when you don't have a medical degree, inject one of your friends? And this is on national television. I thought about that too.
Well, I mean, people with diabetes do it.
Right. This isn't diabetes. This is like,
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, what, I mean, maybe. I mean,
obviously it would have to be legal unless this doctor's a complete idiot. Like to let cameras record that.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
Right? Okay. So moving on, guys, I wanted to talk about another situation. Obviously, we have Lisa Hochstein, and she is still going through it. Larsa is coming to check up on her, but nobody understands what she's going through, like Larsa and probably Alexia. But when Lisa's talking to Larsa, she's saying that it's day by day that she's taking all of this on. It doesn't stop. All of the lawyers are contacting her, and Lenny wants her out of the house. As per the prenup, though, it said, if we do get divorced, then you exit the house within 30 days. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, she signed the prenup, but I think that she didn't realize in that moment. I feel like she did that for peace of mind and she was in love, but she didn't realize what she was signing, because now that he's like, get out of my house, I have this new girl. She's like, wait, I've been in this house for 15 years, which when she said 15 years in that house, didn't they build that house on the first season? It was a foreclosed house.
They gutted it. Remember that they bought it. I think she went in the house with Leah Black, right?
Yeah, they had squatters.
Yeah, they had squatters and everything, and that was not 15 years ago.
No.
So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Maybe it feels like 15 years, like that marriage right now.
I mean, probably. You know? But the fact that he's trying to kick her out of the house the way he is, and he's like, I understand that you're not going to leave on your own, so you're going to have to be removed. And you and the kids need to go rent like a place to stay. And then I'll help you find a place to live. We'll buy you another home. She's looking at him like, no, asshole. That's not how it's going to go. I am the mother of your kids. I'm here raising your kids. We've been in a relationship. And just because now you found somebody new, all of a sudden you want to uproot and change all of our lifestyles, all of our, routines. That's not going to fly. So she's not leaving the house, which is I'm surprised that she leaves the house anyways to go on these filming situations, because I don't know if you ever watched, it's one of my favorite movies. It's Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. But the woman in the very beginning, she was married to a very high power attorney, and he was cheating on her the whole time. When she left, they were at this like gala. When she came home, all of her shit was out on the porch, and there was a mover. And she's like, wait, you can't kick me out. He's like, yes, I can. We had a prenup. And he's like, you exited the home and I had your stuff removed. Now you can't go back in the home. So I'm wondering if she exits the home and she, like, let's say goes for a spa day for 4 hours, can he have movers come in and get her shit out?
I mean, technically, legally, he couldn't he?
I mean, I think
I'm not sure how that works in the state of Florida, and I should know that.
Why should you know that?
Because we're married and we have a prenup.
Why do you have a bruise on your arm?
Because we just moved.
You keep talking out the right side of your mouth. No. Okay. So I'm curious to see how this ends up playing out. But according to page 6 right now, Lenny is accusing Lisa of alienating his children against him. I feel like this is just going to be a messy ass divorce. I feel like she's going to say things about him. He's going to say things about her. And it's just, that's divorce, right? Everyone's fighting. When you have tens of millions of dollars, 2 children, and then a new relationship in the mix.
It's a big deal.
And Lenny,
it's a big deal. And I don't like the way, though, that Lenny's like, let me do something with you and the kids, get you out of my face while I have the new girl. What's her name?
Katharina Mazeppa.
Yeah, while I have this new girl come in and live in our house. I just feel like there's a better way of going about it, but I don't know their relationship. And I almost feel there's a little more to the story we're not getting. And just hear me out really quick. But I feel like they've been going through this for a long time, even before filming started. And then now it's being exaggerated. It's still a big deal. Like, don't get me wrong, but this isn't brand new. Like, he's not like, I'm done with you. You know, even Marisol and Alexia said something like this.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, listen, but also
it's like, we're going to get divorced, but let's wait till we start filming.
But what was really sad about this is we understand that this is a TV show and it's edited down to just a really small portion of what's actually happening. But then when the girls, Kiki and Larsa, try to take Lisa out and they're trying to get her to eat, she's losing a lot of weight. She's sick to her stomach. She can't, like, she's just going through it.
There's also one person who does not need to lose weight.
Right. But don't weight shame people.
I'm not weight shame. I'm just saying she's already in good shape. You know, like, going through this, she doesn't need to be losing weight. She needs to be eating.
Right.
Being healthy.
Yeah, being healthy. But the whole time they were editing it to look like she talked about Lenny for like 30, 40 minutes while they're trying to have a good girls trip at this Club 11, right? And when she's talking about him, she's like, I'm mad at him, but I still love him. And would I be with him? I would. And I just wanted my family together, but I hate him right now. I hate him. And you can tell that there's real feelings. And I think she was just more emotionally invested. And I think for him, he was able to, you know how some people when they end a relationship in their mind, they feel like they have to be mean to you to get you to go away. Like, what do I have to do to get you to leave? I made this decision. It's not going to be peaceful. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you. I want you out. And she's like, why are you doing this to me? Like, does none of this mean anything?
I mean, listen, I think towards the end of that night at the club at 11, which, by the way, I have a lot of friends, a lot of Cirque du Soleil people like perform there. It's like weird. But wasn't that club also featured in Miami before with Joanna Krupa, or am I mistaken?
It might have been.
Anyway, I think she kind of towards the end was accepting like what is going to happen and what she needs to do, you know, and it's great that she has the support of the other ladies, but at the same time, now the ladies are about to embark on another trip to make up for the Key West trip that didn't go so well, the Bahamas trip that already looks out of control.
Oh, wait.
By the trailer.
Wait, before you get into that, we have to talk about the sit down before we get to the trip.
Wait, but I'm not talking about the trip. What I'm talking about is Lisa might not go on this trip because she wants to stay home and make sure her shit's not sitting outside of her house when she gets home either.
Can you imagine her showing up? All of her shit is in like 3-4 moving trucks. They're all outside waiting. She pulls up, and then there's like Katharina Mazeppa sitting there in like a bikini by her pool. And she's like, oh, hey, girl, your stuff's outside.
No.
Like, that would be, I feel like Lisa would go to jail. Like, could you imagine? I think I would go to jail.
Yeah. I mean, so would I.
I mean, I would, like, can you imagine?
So would anyone, right?
Can you imagine
Because
if you came home
if
right
I
now
came
and I
home
had your shit outside?
and some bitch is taunting me on our pool, which we don't have.
Yeah.
But, you know, like if she's taunting me or he's taunting me with, you know, oh, hey, girl, your stuff's outside. I'd be like, come here. You need a smackdown immediately.
A
Right?
smackdown.
A smackdown.
Jason always asks too. He's like, do you want me to punch you in the face?
I do ask.
It's a question.
It's always a question.
It's not aggressive.
That's pretty aggressive, actually.
No, I feel like it's passive aggressive, or maybe it's aggressive. I don't know. I feel like it's a good opening though. You're asking like, hey, I'm not just going to deck you. Would you like me to punch you in the face?
That's a very nice way of doing it. It's just still very aggressive.
We don't condone violence over here.
No.
And we don't want to see any ex-wives, former wives, new wives, still wives, or side pieces.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to see anybody get ripped apart or beat up, okay? All right. So now getting back to it, what is this photo of? So I know. Oh, we got to get there in a second, but hold on. We have this awkward situation.
Ooh, the gringo dinner.
The gringo dinner. Guys, can we talk about the word gringo for a second?
I love how no one knows what that is.
No, oh yeah. I always was told that gringo, first of all, I always thought it was a derogatory term. And I always thought it meant white person. But I from, you know, growing up in South Florida, we have a lot of diversity here, right? Like I went to a predominantly Hispanic school, and I was called gringo all the time. And I remember the teacher saying, don't say that. Don't say gringo. And I used to think, yeah, don't call me a gringo. But I didn't know that, like, I just thought it was bad because the teacher. I didn't realize, no, it's not bad at all.
Well, I know it means it's just like a white person. I mean, like there's a taco place that has like a gringo something taco. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever that is.
Oh yeah. Oh,
but
fuck. Yeah.
You know, it's just like, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad term. I think it just means like you're a white person. That's it.
Yeah. Karen.
No big deal. No big deal. But Marisol's explanation of gringo was a bit off.
Yeah.
The Korean War story or whatever she was telling.
And they showed up, and the American army showed up in green, and they said go. So then it was green, go. And they were like, eh. And then Alexia had a little bit more background and knowledge on it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just Google it? What exactly
does
gringo
okay,
mean?
So I mean, we know what gringo is always like kind of, it's like a white guy, you know, like, oh, gringo, you know, but it is, in Spain, it's referred to as a foreigner. Sometimes it's disparaging and offensive, but most of the times it's not used in that manner. I guess it's just how you say it.
Like if I say, shut up, gringo.
And I say, hey, gringo. Maybe it has different meanings. I have no idea.
Do you want to go to Taco Bell? No. Oh. Okay. All right. So we have the gringo dinner, which is funny because Dr. Nicole's husband, I don't know how they're calling him a gringo. And I guess Alexia's husband, I don't really quite understand that one either. But then Marisol and Gertie for sure. And at this dinner, it gets heated very quickly. So we have Alexia, who is calling out Dr. Nicole because when she was having this family law sort of meeting at her house, Dr. Nicole tried bringing up a question. The question was not supposed to be a part of that situation. And since she was in Alexia's house, Alexia was like, you need to respect the process of what I put together and don't ask some foreign ass questions when that is not what we're here for. Well, obviously, Dr. Nicole got a little bit upset and she got up and she's like, we paid for his time. Alexia was like, we paid for his time. I paid X amount for this. And Dr. Nicole was like, oh, yeah? Well, then here. And then slapped her Black American Express card on the attorney's lap. So, of course, Alexia thought that was rude. Alexia's husband, Todd, has been friends with him for over 30 years. And to be honest with you, it's very rude.
Yeah. And I don't know how Nicole saw that because, or didn't see that, how she didn't see that was rude. Because later at the dinner, when they do meet up way after the gringo thing at the end of the episode, Nicole didn't understand how that was rude at all, which is confusing to me because she's very, very smart. And that's where, at first I was like, Alexia being like, you're a professional, you should be a professional. You should know better. And I'm thinking, okay, Alexia, whatever. But then I'm rewatching the episode again. And I was like, yeah, she was a little rude, a little condescending, just like Anthony was at the dinner as well.
Okay. Well,
but when the husbands come in, what they're really doing is defending their wives, right? Of course, I would defend you no matter what.
I'm not your wife, girl.
You're very close to one. But
bitch,
I would, I just think that they both got into it. They both shouldn't have gotten into it. They're both going to defend their wife. Todd not only is defending his wife, but at this point is defending his friend of 30 years, saying that was kind of rude. And Anthony says, well, what do you want us to do? Send him flowers, send him chocolate. That is called condescending. I think Marisol said it first, then it kind of carried over to Todd. It's a little condescending. All that needed to happen was, look, I'm sorry you saw it that way. I didn't feel it was that way. I'm sorry. Right?
I mean, yes. Hold on. Annette said, being Spanish, we just say it as you're white. Okay. And then I saw that Norma also added something in here. Norma said, when we say gringo, it's not necessarily a white person. It's an American, any race, non-Latino. Okay.
A foreigner.
A foreigner or an American. Okay. So yes, that was my point. I understand that Dr. Nicole's husband is going to stick up for her, but it seems like Dr. Nicole, and I really like her. I met her at BravoCon, super sweet. I feel like though she's one of those people, or like Alexia kind of hit the nail on the head. I hate if you give me an I'm sorry, but. I hate that. If you're sorry, what's the but? But Dr. Nicole does a lot of I'm sorry, but hold on, this is my perspective. And Alexia is like, no. You're in my house. You were rude to my guests. You left abruptly. And now you won't even apologize. And if you do apologize, you're saying, I'm sorry, but I'm not wrong because. And Alexia is like, that's bullshit. You were in my house. You didn't act right. You're supposed to be a professional. Then her husband ended up chiming in and he was like, oh, I'm sorry. We'll send the flowers and the chocolates. And of course, that's when Todd got pissed off, which Todd rightfully so was like, are you joking? What grown-ass man are you going to send flowers and chocolates to? I just gave Pops flowers and chocolates, actually.
Okay, but he likes flowers and chocolates. That's different.
Yeah, grown-ass man. But Todd was like, now you guys are starting to piss me off. Like, I didn't want to interject into this, but this is my friend of over 30 years, and you're being extremely condescending, disrespectful, and I don't like it. And he's like, well, tough shit. I don't really care. What kind of chocolate do you want? You want Godiva? I'll send Godiva. No, I'll send something better. So we didn't really get any true resolve until we got to this moment where they decided to meet up. Dr. Nicole and Alexia decided to meet up. And this was another funny moment to me where they start talking and Alexia was letting her know, listen, fucking learn how to apologize. And then they came to like an agreement here, right? And then Alexia looks at Dr. Nicole after they agree to be the peacemakers on this trip. And she's like, see, that's why we're such great friends, because we can do this. And I'm like, great friends? You were about to rip her head off at the dinner.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, listen, I think that Dr. Nicole, I think some of the other ladies, and I saw someone say it in the chat, and I've seen this before, and I've kind of actually felt this before, that they might be slightly jealous of Nicole, because not only is she beautiful, she's an MD, like someone mentioned in the chat, but I mean, they have a boat, they have a plane, they have a, like
500
everything.
cars.
And yes, and yet Nicole still hustles. She still works. She still does her job because, as she said, she's not going to end up like Lisa. She wants to make her own money, do her own thing. And I kind of feel that from their group sometimes. The only feeling, or the only person I don't feel has any kind of animosity or kind of jealousy is maybe like Gertie. Gertie is so in the middle on everything.
Oh yeah,
That's Kiki.
No, I'm trying to see.
Down.
Larsa, Adriana. Where is Gertie? Did you put Gertie in here?
Down.
Gertie. Ha! Found her. TT Doll said, I think it wasn't the bad behavior of Nicole. The screaming and yelling was way worse in my opinion. Thank you, TT Doll, for the super chat. We appreciate you. And I agree. For Gertie, I really like her, and I like the fact that her husband was able to just stay out of the conflict, and so was Marisol's husband. They didn't interject. They didn't try to get involved, and that's what
Russell
I really feel like the husband should do.
No time for any of this, right? No time. Zero, nada. He has no time. He doesn't want to be involved in it. I feel like almost Russell doesn't even care if he's being filmed or is filming or participates in filming.
Yeah.
You know, but I do like, you know, just to backtrack a little bit, because I was talking about some of the things that I really enjoy about Miami, like those moments with Marisol and Alexia, the moments of, let's say, Larsa going to check in on Lisa, is the supportiveness of Julia and Adriana. I love these moments with Gertie and her family. We've gotten a lot of that this season, and it just adds that little extra special sprinkle on top for this show.
I agree. Norma Maldonado said, on Watch What Happens Live, Alexia was asked about saying sorry to Adriana. And she did exactly that. Sorry, but Anthony was wrong, but good, went after Anthony's business. Norma, I got to go watch that. Watch What Happens Live. Annette, thank you for the super chat. Why couldn't Nicole ask a question? They just don't like her. Alexia never apologizes. Why clown Anthony for working at a smaller firm? That was a low blow, but he also said, no, I don't work at a smaller firm. I have X amount of employees.
I think he said he has 187 employees and 45 lawyers that work at his firm.
Yeah.
That is not a small firm by any means, in my opinion.
If he has a small firm and they have the assets that they have, like the yachts, the house, the cars, and I know it's not a yacht, but it's really still an expensive asset.
Technically, that is a yacht.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
Well, I mean, my point is they have a lot of money coming in, a lot of people questioning how they make so much money. So if you had a firm of 3 people, yeah, people would probably be on your ass about that. But I did want to say this too. I know that this is the only photo I have right here of her. Oh, you brought one up. I thought that this was a really heartfelt moment when we had Alexia and Frankie bringing him over to just learn how to like reintegrate into the world independently.
Yes.
Not with his mom doing everything for him. And I felt so bad for him because he's like, I don't want a girlfriend. I just want my mom. I love my mom. And he's like, I don't want to take an Uber. I'm scared. And he's like, you could tell like this is so much for him. And when Alexia was saying, look, if a man leaves me or does something, okay, I'll exit. That's fine. Like I'm good. I can repair myself. But if it's my son, it cuts so much deeper. Oh man, I was shattered in that moment.
Yeah. This storyline, we followed Frankie from, literally day one, before the accident, through his accident. The way he has recovered is just amazing. Just even from last year to this year, she is obviously doing everything she can as a mom to support him, push him to be where he needs to be independent. Because like she said, no one wants to ever say it, but parents aren't always around, they're not around forever.
They're not around forever. All right, guys. So as you can see on the banner right below, we have hot tea dropping right after this at 1 p.m. Eastern. We got some insight from production as to what actually happened on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 4. The real tea.
Which is crazy because we haven't even gotten Season 3.
I know. And we're not going to get Season 4 for like another year. But when you guys hear about what Caroline allegedly said about Dina, what really happened with Brandy and Caroline, like shit actually was wild, but really kind of tame. But then the things that were said were shocking. So I'm going to be dropping that video right after this. TT Doll said, I have really lost all respect for Alexia this season. Boot her, Larsa, Marisol, make Kiki full-time housewife, add some newbies. No, I like Larsa and Marisol.
What I have to say, though, really quick about the cast, and because a lot of people are starting to find their favorites now that we're 2 seasons back from this revamp, right? People are like, last season, I couldn't stand Larsa, and I really like her this season for some crazy reason. But every time I see her, look at her here. She's beautiful. But then I always go back to her season 1 photo. I'm like, you look so different. So different. And when she's talking and I go back and I get scenes from like season 2 of Miami.
You miss her?
I forget about her all the time.
Oh, shit.
But the thing about Miami is I love the cast as is. I love the friends who are the friends. I love the housewives who are the housewives. And I think we should see more of all of them. I think they're fantastic.
Okay, so before we start wrapping this up, Norma, I researched, and Anthony is very successful, and his firm represents an insurance company or companies. Money. Todd, like Alexia, didn't scroll to the bottom. Thank you for doing your due diligence there, Norma. Going into next episode next week, we are going to Mexico. Wasn't it Mexico?
No, Bahamas.
Oh, Bahamas. We're going to the Bahamas.
Mexico. We're 45 minutes from the Bahamas.
I don't know. I love the Bahamas. We need to go to the Bahamas.
We need to go to the Bahamas.
We have
I'm here for that.
There's no time.
There's no time.
No time.
I think you're traveling 3 times this month, and I'm traveling twice, so that's not going to happen this month.
And none of which are the Bahamas.
Guys, did you not spill anything with Ryan about what you guys are doing next week?
No.
Oh. Anyways,
but I'm going to LA.
Going to LA.
Yeah.
And then also our Hot Messy podcast channel. If you guys are on it, if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. That channel is shifting. Our podcast is shifting. We have some really big news, and it's shifting because of things that are happening towards the end of the year. So bear with us, but the purpose is to bring you a shit more ton of content.
Yes. And also going into next week, we have the Bahamas trip, which is going to be extremely explosive. It looks like Adriana is under fire. Alexia and Marisol are going after her. People are jealous. You want to be all of us. Everybody's an asshole. And I can't wait for the hot Latin flavor.
Same. And also, TT Doll, why can't you and Josh do your below deck recap around this time? Because I'm just waking up right now, and I love that time of night. It's just like where I live.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And Josh has a big girl job.
Yeah. Yeah. She's always working.
She's working. But all right, guys, we're going to go. Since we're flying out, we have to go get some haircuts, drop off some boxes, finish up our move. There's so much shit going on, but we do have pre-records coming your way at 1 p.m. Eastern, literally right after this. In about 25 minutes, I am dropping the hot tea from Ultimate Girls Trip Season 4. So go make sure to go check that out as well. You won't want to miss it. I promise you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Get subscribed. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
We love you guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.
And thank you to all of our mods, super chat, super stickers. Oh, and to Krista for those amazing masks.
Oh, catch us on another live.
Catch us on another.